Burchett joins me now. So, Tim, do you know that the government has this crazy alien stuff and is keeping it from us?
Well, I don't know about that Vegas deal, but the whistleblower, I know him. You know, he's a decorated veteran. I know in Washington D.C. that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, but in East Tennessee that means a whole lot. Those are the Tic Tac videos you're seeing there right now. Those are videos that were taken by American military. That's their gunners, their gunner photography, and they're actually trying to follow those things, and those are some of the best pilots in the world. So either they're lying or somebody else is lying. And so I tend to go with our military men and women. I've been briefed on things, some things I can speak about and some things I can't, but that's probably a meteorite that what you're seeing in Las Vegas. But,
so what kind of things can you talk about? You said you can't talk about stuff.
Well, I can talk. Yeah, I can talk about this. Some of these craft that you're watching right there, they have no heat trail. They defy every bit of physics that we know about. They they can fly underwater or swim underwater, I guess, and they basically have no friction, and there is no heat trail, so you don't know. We don't have any idea what's propelling them. And everybody says at first, well, that's the Russians. And you know good and well that Putin had a UFO, he'd land the thing on the White House lawn, probably get out, ride a unicorn bare-chested over to the president and punch him in the mouth and then ride back to Mother Russia. If the Chinese had it, they'd own us. I mean, in all seriousness. So you're left with one other conclusion. These things are coming from somewhere else, and this has been covered up since 1947 or sooner. And you know, we have military personnel that are decorated veterans telling us they've seen these things. And, you know, we just need to get to the bottom of it. I've added an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act to declassify all things about UFOs and UAPs, because if they don't exist, then why are they hiding them? And if they do exist, why don't we know about it?
Tell me a little bit about how you know that the UFOs fly underwater.
Well, you just saw a video that just showed that right there. There was one that just trailed, and you can listen to the pilots. It's called the Tic Tac videos, like the candy, and you can Google it, and it's been on 60 Minutes, and they literally go underwater and they fly out at the same speed, and these have been documented. And the trouble you've got is these pilots are afraid to come forward, even with whistleblower protection, because what happens, and I've talked to these pilots, they've been interrogated for over 8 hours, some of them, and then they're told not to say anything, and of course it ends up on their record. So I've actually spoken with pilots who said, look, I've destroyed this evidence because I don't want to have to come back and explain it to my superiors and then be subjected to ridicule. And yet it happens time and time again. And I've been told by some higher ups, Burchett, we got more important things to deal with than this. And I said, well, what's more important than American fighting men and women in $50 million aircraft? We've had 13 certified close, I won't say close encounters because that's the movie, but they've had almost near collisions in the air. And this is public record. And yet, when we have a hearing, the Pentagon puts a couple of people in charge of it. Honestly, they couldn't spell UFO. They couldn't stop a 12-second video. Isabel Burchett, my little girl, could have stopped the video. And Adam Schiff, of all the people, I know somebody's head's going to explode on Fox when I mention his name in a positive light, but he said he asked the best question. He said, what exactly am I looking at? Because the video they had was taken with a guy's cell phone inside of a plane canopy, and then they couldn't even stop a 12-second video, the most technologically advanced country in the world. We had the pilot, who was one of the pilots in the Tic Tac videos that had followed these UFOs through the air. He was not allowed to testify before our own intelligence committee. It was open to the public. It was the only one I've ever been able to go to as a sitting member of Congress, because obviously I'm not on the intelligence committee. But the only way he got in, he had press credentials, and they wouldn't even let that guy testify. So you tell me, what the heck is going on? Why are they covering this up? I think the world needs to know.
I do too.
Let's get to the bottom of it. Quit hiding it. Quit hiding it. And the worst thing about it is the Pentagon's going to come to us and say, and that's what they're doing now. Watch. They're going to say, oh, we need to study this. Send us a few $1 billion. Well, hell no, they don't need to study it. All they need to do is turn loose the files. Turn loose the unredacted files they have.
Turn them loose. and maybe we have another suspect for the cocaine at the White House.
Maybe. I don't know. All I can say is Tim Burchett did not leave that cocaine at the White House. I can tell you that.
Neither did Jesse Waters. Congressman, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.